I've been in Lagos for a while now, but if I'm being completely honest, I haven't fully felt the culture the way I should. I've been learning the language small, but a lot didn't really click until now. Till I stepped into the JK Randle Centre for Yoruba Culture, and everything just started to make sense. Right outside, there's a photo booth, and me being me, I didn't even pretend to have composure. I stopped, I posed, and did my thing. I'm going to show you videos of that later. But first, somewhere in between, I saw this fine green jacket. I was ready to form emotional attachment when the story of Pelumi caught my attention. The lady that went in this vehicle from London to Lagos by road. It's not just travel. It's what happens to identity when it leaves home. How it changes, how it adapts, and somehow still finds its way back home. We got into the theater and it was very dark and quiet. Then the statues. Some of them looked like they were looking at me personally. Like, hope you know what you're doing with all this heritage. No pressure though, just eye contact. Each one had its own presence, different energy, different story, but all very intentional. Then fashion. This part I slowed down because it's not just dressing up. This means status, identity. The way fabric was used back then, it spoke before you even opened your mouth. Then the music section. You see the talking drums, and you realize these weren't just vibes. They were literally used to communicate. Like, imagine sending a full message with rhythm, and people actually understood you. No signal issues, no network wahala. And behind that are the legends, the ones who turned sound into language. Then everywhere is my fork for people like me not to touch. Then film. I liked how it connects everything from oral stories to actual movies. Same depth, same, just different platform. Just timeless movies like 30 Days in Atlanta. So many classics. And of course, the old TV. Classic novels, Palm White Drinkard, timeless authors, Wole Soyinka, like so many classics. Then I stepped into this room. There were blue entrance and it felt like I crossed into something else, like a portal of some sort. Inside were these model photos, and I loved this part because it felt like culture and modern expression met each other and agreed to coexist. Like, you can be rooted and still evolve. Like, you don't have to shrink to fit tradition. Then that big blue screen. To me, it just felt like a reminder that culture is still moving. Like, still growing, still becoming. Now, the upper section. I laugh because I had a little too much fun there. You can feel the authority there immediately. The clothes, the statues, everything carries weight. And yes, I danced a little. Because if royalty is watching, at least let them say I tried, you know? But standing there made me think a little too deeply. When people talk about being a king's wife, it's always painted as this top position, like you've arrived. But a lot of times it was about fitting perfectly into a system that rewards obedience to rules that are not necessarily right or just. And we've seen this pattern before.
Take the story of Queen Esther, for example.
Before Esther, there was Queen Vashti, married to King, was it Ash? I can't remember his name. He called her to come and basically show herself off to the front of his guests, and she refused. That was it. His advisors then told him to remove her, not just because of the moment, but because other women might hear it and start thinking they can also say no. That was all, though. She was replaced. Esther was chosen, not randomly, but because she fits what the system needed to control others, or so they thought. If you read the complete story of Esther, you will understand why I said that. Because Esther was far from fitting into the mold. And that's how power works.
Even during the colonial era,
You reward the most compliant, then use them as an example to keep others in line. Same pattern, different places, different times. Looking at all this beauty, I can appreciate it, but I can also question it. Both things can exist. It just reminds you that what we have today didn't just happen. A lot was forced, adjusted, redirected.
well, at some point we had to take a break because please, you cannot be processing culture non-stop. We stepped out, drank some cups of water, took pictures, and my friends, they came dressed almost like they were part of the exhibition, everything aligning. Meanwhile, I showed up with confidence and vibes. But honestly, that's enough sometimes.
Oh, that video I told you I was going to share with you at the beginning. Well, here it is. What started as let me just go and see this place turned into something deeper than I expected. There were moments that stayed with me, honestly.
That London to Lagos story, the fact that this woman, Pelumi Nubi, who actually made that journey by road, not just movement, but courage, endurance, and identity in motion, that alone shifts how you see what is possible.
And that upper section, beautiful, powerful, but also something that made me pause and question. Not everything that is old is automatically right. Some things were built to maintain power, and I'm sorry to say, manipulate. And it's okay to see that clearly while still respecting the culture itself. And I think that's the biggest thing I'm taking away from this. You can love where you come from and still ask questions about it. So before you leave this video, I want you to sit with a few questions. What part of your culture do you truly understand? And what parts have you just accepted without thinking? And most importantly, what truly does identity mean to you? Something you inherit or something you built for yourself?
Like this Lagos traffic. Join me for future stories.
A Doom's World.